So, this one's gonna be about motivation once again. The article from James Clear, the god of habits, and I think also somehow then the god of meditation. Well, not meditation, but motivation as well. This is from whom the article actually is. But yeah, let's talk about it after the intro. Such a random intro. Or introduction to the intro somehow. I don't know what this kind of screen just before the intro is actually called. I might look that up, I might have to even. I don't know. But yeah, with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. I'm pretty pumped, because I haven't been at home since, 20 minutes ago, I would say. 20 minutes I think is relatively accurate. But, as I've already said in the intro, we are going ahead with the article from James Clear on motivation. And I fortunately do remember where we have stopped, which is amazing, which is totally amazing. But yeah, so let's actually see. Today is going to be about how to stay motivated, or how to make motivation a habit, as he says it. So therefore, and this is what I'm also going to read. Is there anything okay? No, it has to be like this. And I can even, I've actually seen that everything is a little bit big. And to be honest, I don't know if this is good. I think for the mobile users, it is quite great, especially, in terms of the text on the left side here. So actually here. But yeah, for the podcast listeners, it doesn't make any sense or any difference at least. But yeah, I think I'm just going to start reading. So how to make motivation a habit. There are 3 simple steps you can take to build better rituals and make motivation a habit. Step 1 is a good pre-game routine starts by being so easy that you can't say no to it, which is actually the thing that we've been talking about in the last episode. At least in the end, it was really then about, or have we gone through this already? I think not. Or have we? Have we? Yeah, we have. I'm sorry. We have. We're sorry. So this is actually what we've been talking about the last time. So actually yesterday, if you're interested in this certain episode, then you could, if you're on a podcast, just go to my page. So to the podcast page, wherever you are, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on, Anchor itself, whether you be on Apple Podcast. I'm quite everywhere, fortunately. Which is extremely easy with Anchor, which is actually the platform that I use for the distribution of the podcast. It's fairly easy. It is free. You can even just gain sponsorships. It is amazing. It just is amazing. Still, what did I want to say? If you're on a YouTube video, just go into my channel down below, and there you can find the other video fairly easy, I have to say. But yeah, so we're going ahead with point 3, which is how to stay motivated for the long run. So we have covered some strategies for making it easier to get motivated and start a task. What about maintaining motivation over the long run? Good question. So how can you stay motivated for good? How can you stay motivated for good? Does that mean for a long time? I can't even English today. But yeah, so how to stay motivated by using the Goldilocks. I think it is called Goldilocks rule. So it is GOLDILOCKS. So imagine you are playing tennis. Tennis is actually one of these sports that I'm not able to play, which is fairly rare, to be honest. I'm not gonna just be that way, I'm just good at any sport and whatever. I'm totally not. I think if I would be boxing, I would just I would just really get smashed, get smashed the fuck out of me, just heavily, really heavily. I can play football, so soccer actually, football as well. I played, what is it called? Flag football, I think it is played. And I do kind of believe that if we're just talking about flag football in the States, it's going to be like, wow, you are a fucking pussy. I somehow feel this way. I don't know why, but yeah, never mind. The thing is, tennis is actually very, 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 very difficult, at least at my point of view. I'm really not able to play this game. Maybe, I have only been playing it for just a really short period of time, so not for, I think it must have been 2 hours or something, and it was only just some kind of a training, And still, it was pretty difficult, you know. I wasn't pretty much able to get the ball across the court. Extremely, extremely, extremely difficult, I have to say. I'm sorry. So the match is too easy. Well, no, I haven't read the other thing. So imagine you're playing tennis. If you try to play a serious match against a 4-year-old, you will quickly become bored. The match is too easy. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if you try to play a serious match against a professional tennis player like Roger Federer, or actually Roger Federer, or Federer because he's actually from Switzerland, or Serena Williams, you will find yourself demotivated for a different reason. The match is too difficult. Compare these experiences to playing tennis against someone who is your equal. As the game progresses, you win a few points and you lose a few points. You have a chance of winning the match, but only if you try, but only if you really try. Your focus narrows, distractions fade away, and you find yourself fully invested in the task. Yeah, it is actually invested in the task at hand. The challenge you are facing is just manageable. Victory is not guaranteed, but it is possible. Tasks like these, science has found, are the most likely to keep us motivated in the long run. And I think it is totally important to just have some quick or easy victories in the run, So for the long run, in the end, it is also very important. So I'm just thinking about the YouTube game that I'm playing here or the podcast game. Of course it is work, and of course there are some days where I kind of feel like, giving up and being like, you know what? There's so much I'm doing here. I'm just putting so much work into this, and I'm not seeing a lot of return of it. I'm not seeing a lot of ROI, so return of investment. But the thing is, on other days, it is like, wow, I gained a subscriber today, which was actually the case for Sunday. So last Sunday, today is Wednesday, I've actually gained 1 subscriber. Now I was having 19. Today, I've actually looked up my analytics once again, and they said like, okay, now you have 18 subscribers once again. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it is what it is. The thing is, I'm going to stay the course, I guess. I'm going to just stay doing what I'm doing. Maybe I actually change up what I'm doing. Like, I'm still going to do the exact same thing, but maybe in a different way. Maybe I'm going to just have different videos. Like, I'm going to make them differently, just sit there in a different setting. There could be just a lot of change I can make. I do just really have to see what is working, first of all, for me and also for other people. But the thing is, which, is actually the reason why I brought up the point, there are certain days where everything is kind of mad and shitty and I hate everything. And there are definitely some days where I'll be like, okay, I'm seeing the little victories, I'm seeing the somehow just really tiny little things that actually make me happy and that actually keep me doing this thing. So I do believe that it is very important for everything that you're trying to make a habit of, or you're trying to make a habit to. Human beings love challenges, but only if they are within the optimal zone of difficulty. Tasks that are significantly below your current abilities are boring. Tasks that are significantly beyond your current abilities are discouraging. The thing is, I don't know. The thing really is that really easy things, at my point of view at least, aren't that boring, to be honest. I do just really like to... It depends also on how long you're doing them. I'm just really thinking about playing FIFA. Back in the days, I've been playing quite a lot of FIFA, especially with my friends. And, when I think 2014, when the World Cup was, this was actually the time where I was playing, I think, maybe the most, I guess, but I'm not quite sure. The thing still is, if you're playing on the easiest level there is, on FIFA, on FIFA, it is definitely just pretty fucking great in the first few minutes of the half or of the first half. And even the first, 2, 3, 4 games are pretty nice, because you're destroying the fucking computer like it would be a piece of shit. But the thing is, after a certain amount of matches, after a certain amount of playing time, I do just really have to say it gets boring. But not from the really first minute on. The thing then is, actually having somehow a challenge is definitely something, as I can tell, or as I can actually say by my experience of playing FIFA actually once again, having a challenge is actually pretty nice. It really is nice, just having, quite some sort of challenge. Having it too easy isn't good for the long run, and having it way too hard is definitely also not easy for the long run, because it is just, as they say already, or as they said already, really discouraging. Yeah, it really fucking is. But yeah, let's go ahead. So we can call this phenomenon the Goldilocks rule. I didn't know that. Once again, I learned something through what I'm doing here, which was actually one of the reasons why I still just go through articles, because I'm learning quite a lot, and I believe that also other people learn a lot, and not only me. So the Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. So not too hard and not too easy, which means just right, as they say. So working on tasks that adhere to the Goldilocks rule is one of the keys to maintaining long-term motivation. If you find yourself feeling unmotivated to work on tasks, it is often because it has drifted into an area of boredom or been shoved into an area of great difficulty. You need to find a way to pull your tasks back to the border of your abilities where you feel challenged but capable. Actually, one of the best advices that I've gotten here on motivation, or actually just getting motivated, because it just really makes sense, and they really just also explain why it makes sense, why you should be doing it, why it is actually a great rule and or a great way on gaining motivation. Really great. I really love to see those things, and not actually only just seeing and or hearing and or reading, whatever, the exact same thing you just hear or read or see anywhere, So how to reach your peak motivation? This wonderful blend of happiness and peak performance is something referred to as flow. Flow is what athletes and performers experience when they are in the zone. So quote unquote in the zone. Flow is the mental state you experience when you are so focused on the task at hand that the rest of the world fades away. Which is actually sometimes the case for me when I'm recording an episode. It is like I am in the episode. It just still depends on whether the episode is running smoothly and good, and if I feel like, okay, I'm putting out something that is great. Also, just depending on how my ability is on speaking English, or how my ability to speak English is at the time, because on some days it is really like, I don't know what I should be talking about, or I don't know how to talk. And then it is really like, really fucked up, to be honest, because I just want to communicate. I want to communicate on a certain level, and sometimes it is not possible for me to do. And then it's like, well, fuck you. This is what I'm thinking then, sometimes. Yeah, probably. So flow is, I've read that. So flow is the mental state you experience, and I've read that as well. So in many ways, we could describe flow as your state of peak motivation. You would be hard pressed to find a state where you are more driven to continue the task you're working on. One factor that researchers have found is linked to flow. So one factor that researchers have found is linked to flow states is whether or not you are following the Goldilocks rule we mentioned earlier. If you are working on challenges of optimal difficulty, then you will not only be motivated but also experience a boost in happiness. As psychologist Gilbert Brim put it, So as psychologist Gilbert Brim, so Gilbert like Gilbert and Brim, B-R-I-M, put it, one of the important sources of human happiness is working on tasks at a suitable level of difficulty, neither too hard nor too easy. And I also believe that it is just really making somebody happy, or really making one happy, if you're working on something that you also believe could get to something. And I guess the thing is, something that I've seen, something really interesting that I've seen is that I have been doing this for a year. I have been recording, doing the episodes, doing the posts. I've actually been doing the posts for more than a year right now, because it was the exact first thing that I started to do quite. The thing is, I have been doing it, so the YouTube and the podcast thing, for quite a year now. I think the podcast thing, not entirely. This might be in August. No, today is August, or we have August right now. I think it was in October, but I'm not quite sure. Or was it in August? But yeah, since then I've been uploading every single day. And something that I've seen and actually realized, I think last week or something, so definitely not a really long time ago, I've seen like I haven't been ill. Fortunately, I haven't been ill in a year. At least not to such a degree where I said like, okay, I am not able to record. I'm not able to put out an episode. I'm not able to do the posts. Of course, there were some days, and I've totally recorded them as well, where I have not been feeling good. Like my nose was kind of full of those slimy kind of piece of shit. And of course, I had some days where my throat was also so sore that, it wasn't that easy to talk. It wasn't that nice to talk. But the thing is, back in the day, so just before this period of time, I have been ill. I don't want to say relatively often, but I've been ill sometimes. Definitely from time to time I've been ill. The thing is, in this certain period of time, I was not. And I think it is actually correlated to me being happier when I'm doing this or when I'm just working on something, because I need just to do something. And then self-awareness also kicks in once again and just really gets a very, very important thing and very, very important fact of you as well for your happiness and for your well-being. Because if you know, like me, for example, that you just need to do something, you need to do something that somehow could get to something, you need to do something, as I refer to it, you need to do something that is somehow smart, that makes sense, that is not a waste of time. Because this totally is not a waste of time. I'm learning English. I'm learning to talk, actually. Because, for example, in this episode, or in this episode, actually during the episode, I kind of was trying to not say and all these words that I'm normally often using during sentences. And I think I'm doing pretty well, I think I'm really doing well just in the run or in the process of this video, or podcast actually. So I have not been feeling bad, or at least not so bad, one whole entire year, which is amazing for me because, the health thing and whatever has always, or quite often been a thing for me that was bothering me because, it often just bothered me and I often was not feeling that well. So let's go ahead, I think. Let's go ahead. So in order to reach the state of peak performance, however, you not only need to work on challenges at the right degree of difficulty, but also measure your immediate progress. As psychologist Jonathan Haidt, it is H-A-I-D-T, or Jonathan Haidt, I don't know if it is German, if it is English, I don't fucking know, explains one of the keys to reaching a flow state is that you get immediate feedback about how you're doing at each step. Thus, we can say that measurement is a key factor in motivation. To put it more precisely, facing an optimal challenge and receiving immediate feedback about the progress you are making toward that challenge are two of the most critical components of peak motivation. For more on the importance of measurement and feedback, check out this article. What are you measuring in your life? I do assume, by the way, that often we're actually measuring the wrong things and going for the wrong things and just looking for the wrong things, as it might be with money, because money is definitely one of the things that people, strive for. Is it? I think, no, it's thrive for, but I'm not sure. I'm really not. The thing is, money is just one of the things that just people want to have. People are just really, they're just being crazy. If it is about money, it is insane sometimes. It really is insane. And happiness on the other side is definitely one of these things that people only recognize that they actually need it when they're not having it. When they're just really feeling bad, at least as I'm maybe seeing it, as I'm feeling it for myself as well. Gratefulness in general is one of the things that a lot of people do not show. Therefore, I would totally suggest you to show the gratefulness and your gratefulness for whatever it is, for your health, as I've actually been thinking about it right now, which is also a good thing that this podcast does to me, that I'm just thinking things, I'm structuring my thoughts, and I'm just structuring my thoughts. I just clearly then understand, okay, what I'm thinking, if I actually think a certain way, what my opinion is on different things, because I have to talk about them. and not only think about them, it just really does something to me, which is, at least at my point of view, pretty good. The thing is, what did I want to say? Fucking hell. What did I want to say? I do not remember. So let's move on. So what to do when motivation fades? Inevitably, your motivation to perform a task will dip at some point. What happens when motivation fades? I don't claim to have all the answers, but here's what I try to remind myself of when I feel like giving up. Your mind is a suggestion engine. Consider every thought you have as a suggestion, not an order. Right now, as I'm writing this, my mind is suggesting that I feel tired. It is suggesting that I give up. It is suggesting that I take an easier path. If I pause for a moment, however, I can discover new suggestions. My mind is also suggesting that I will feel very good about accomplishing this work once it is done. It is suggesting that I will respect the identity I am building when I stick to the schedule. It is suggesting that I have the ability to finish this task even when I do not feel like it. Remember, none of these suggestions are orders. They are merely options. I have the power to choose which option I follow, which is actually something I guess a lot of people have to be reminded of, I don't know. Some difficulties I'm having with those things like on and off, I sometimes actually mix them up, which is actually one of the things that I've always thought like, well, I will never have some problems with this and my English speaking abilities, whatever. Seems to be the case. Something that I know through the podcast as well, But yeah, the thing is, what did I once again want to say? I always get caught up in things that I'm just thinking about at very just tiny little moments. Not good. Really not good sometimes. The fuck did I want to talk about? Yeah, we have control over our life. It is what it is, Especially we have the control over the things that we are thinking about and the things that we are doing. And this, especially the things that we are then doing, because often it is like the case, okay, first of all, we think about things and then we do them. The thing really is, once again, it really is like what we think is often what we do, and what we do is how our life is in the end, basically. And I guess it makes sense, and I guess a lot of people will understand it. And we totally have control over the things that we are doing. Like, you somehow control if you're working out this day or not. You control what you're eating, which actually is just really correlated and really deeply correlated to your well-being, how energetic you are, how maybe also in which mood you are. And other things are actually pretty much correlated to the things that you eat, at least at my point of view, and at least as I'm seeing it as well. Of course, if you're eating just shit all day long, you're not gonna feel that way, and it might also just change how you're interacting with other people. Which means like, okay, you're not feeling good, you're not probably gonna be the happiest person, therefore you're not gonna just be smiling at everybody that is in your shop, if you have a shop, or in your restaurant, or whatever it is. So yeah, I think nutrition, first of all, really fucking matters. Discomfort is temporary. One of the things that is definitely the thing. So relative to the time in your normal day or week, nearly any habit you perform is over quickly. Your workout will be finished in an hour or two. Your report will be typed to completion by tomorrow morning. Life is easier now than it has ever been. 300 years ago, if you didn't kill your own food and build your own house, you would die. Today we whine about forgetting our iPhone charger. Maintain perspective. Your life is good and your discomfort is temporary. Step into this moment of discomfort and let it strengthen you. We really often do not have the perspective, like especially because a lot of people do just have it really, really, really worse and really bad, actually. Definitely worse than we are having it at the time, or at least I'm having it at the time. Like, there are people that are starving at this point of time. It is just what it is. Yeah, and I'm really happy that I'm not starving. I'm really happy that I'm in such a position also that I'm able to just sit here, which is incredibly important to also remind myself on. I'm really grateful and glad that I'm able to sit here recording this episode and I'm able to just spit my words. It is definitely not something that everyone can do so easily, or at least not as easy as I'm able to do it. Still, often I'm thinking about the quality. I'm thinking about if these videos are good that I'm putting out there. I just really have to remind myself way more often, and it is just really changing something in my mind at this point in time. I do just really have to change and or remind myself on the fact that I'm able to do what I'm doing here, that I'm able to sit here, being in such a beautiful country, even though things can always be better and things can always be worse. It is what it is. But I'm so grateful that I'm living here, that I'm just having the ability to just speak to people potentially, even though, like, in the meantime, I am not, still my shit is watched by nobody quite. I have been uploading more than 400 videos now, and altogether they have 1,000 clicks. It is basically nothing. It maybe shows me, okay, my content is not good enough, my content is not watchable. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know what the thing is. The thing is, I'm really grateful, and you should be as well, especially when you're living in a fucking first world country where everything is quite great. You have food, you have your family. Even though you do not have your family, you have food, you're basically not living on the edge to dying, probably, at least I hope. So everything is good then, especially when you're having something to drink, something to eat, when you're healthy, something that's also very important. People forget about it. You will never regret good work once it is done. Theodore Roosevelt famously said, "Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing." So often it seems that we want to work easily at work that is worth doing. We want our work to be helpful and respected, but we do not want to struggle through our work. We want our stomachs to be flat and our arms to be strong, but we do not want to grind through another workout. We want the final result, but not the failed attempts that precede it. We want the gold, but not the grind. Anyone can win a gold medal. Few people want to train like an Olympian. And yet, despite our resistance to it, I have never found myself feeling worse after the hard work was done. There have been days when it was damn hard to start. There really are days, but it was always worth finishing. Sometimes the simple act of showing up and having the courage to do the work, even in an average manner, is a victory worth celebrating. It really is. Just showing up is, I think, often really good enough. I've been reading something about a course where the first day it might actually be the course of Seth Godin, but I don't remember quite surely. The thing is, the first thing they did on day one was showing up. It was the first thing they did, and then they went home again, or to wherever they're living. Maybe it's not their home, maybe they're living in a hotel for the course. I don't fucking know. The thing is, they had only to be there. The only thing they had to be doing on this particular day was showing up, and that's fucking it. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is life. Life is a constant balance between giving into the ease of distraction or overcoming the pain of discipline. It is not an exaggeration to say that our lives and our identities are defined in this delicate balance. So what is life if not the sum of 100,000 daily battles and tiny decisions to either gut it out or give it up? This moment when you don't feel like doing the work, because I've read it so poorly. This is not a moment to be thrown away. This is not a dress rehearsal. This moment is your life as much as any other moment. Spend it in a way that will make you proud. Where to go from here? I hope you found this short guide on motivation useful. If you're looking for more ideas on how to get motivated and stay the way, then check out my full list of motivation articles below. So all motivation articles, this is a complete list of articles I have written on motivation, so enjoy. And there are a bunch of articles, a few of them are also linked in this guide. So best articles on topics related to motivation, best articles on habits, best articles on procrastination, and best articles on productivity. Well, this was the end of this. I do also want to say summary, but it's not actually a summary, it is an article. The thing is, I'm going to read this once again. So thanks for reading. You helped save a life. Whenever you buy one of my books, join the Habits Academy, or otherwise contribute to my work, 5% of the profits are donated to the Against Malaria Foundation, which is the AMF. In fact, thanks to our advertising partners, even a simple act like reading another article helps us contribute more. And then there are some numbers and some other things. So the AMF is the Malaria Foundation. I think it's a good cause. I don't know. I believe so. Yeah, but this is going to be the end of the episode. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I really have. Especially because the talking part was really good today. Today was actually one of the, I would say, not relatively rare days, but definitely one of the days where everything was quite good, to be honest. And I'm also seeing that when I'm sleeping, not really a lot, then it gets more difficult, and it also depends on what I'm doing the day or what I have been doing the rest of the day up to the point where I started the recording. But yeah, I wish you the best. And I see you the next time. I wish you the best, helpful feminist, and also success. And I wish you the best, helpful feminist, and success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you gonna be remembered, which is actually your legacy. How people are going to talk about you when you are dead. Basically, to some degree, it is what we control. Often, still, we can't make everyone like us. Not everyone's gonna love us. Not everyone's gonna like us. It is what it is. We can't change it. We have to live with it. But with that being said, thank you very much for listening and or watching once again. Love you for that. Subscribe if you want. Subscribe to the podcast and or the YouTube video if you want. I see you the next time, and I love you. Thanks.